Roman harbors stand defiant after 2,000 years. Yet our modern sea walls crumble within a single lifetime.
How could their structures, battered by millennia of waves, outlast our own? The paradox is etched in stone.
The chronicler unrolls an ancient scroll, its map glowing softly in the candlelight. The search for answers begins. His finger traces the coastline of ancient Italy, settling on the Bay of Naples. A place of fire and water. He gazes upon the ruins of a Roman villa, its foundations still firm against the shifting sands. A silent testament. But the true marvel lies beneath the waves. Colossal underwater structures, teeming with life. Still holding back the sea. What material could possibly achieve this? It seems to defy the very laws of nature as we know them. The primary question emerges from the depths. What was the Romans' secret ingredient? Lost to the ages. Every stone carries a story, and this one speaks of immense ambition. The need to master the known world. The chronicler studies depictions of a growing empire. An empire that depended entirely on its connection to the sea. For trade, for conquest, for survival itself. Rome required ports on a scale never before imagined. A monumental challenge, but building into the ocean was a gamble. The sea is a relentless, corrosive force that destroys all it touches. So the stakes were impossibly high. Failure meant economic collapse and strategic vulnerability for the entire empire. The reward, however, was total maritime supremacy. A prize worth any risk, worth any price to achieve. This drive pushed Roman engineers to look where no one else had, towards the smoking mountains of their homeland. He finds an ancient quarry littered with tools left behind. Here, they harvested a peculiar, dusty red earth. The chronicler consults the writings of Pliny the Elder. He described a powder that, when mixed, becomes a single stone. This powder was known as pozzolana, a gift from the volcanic heart of the land, key to their great gamble. He watches a memory of Roman workers. They are mixing the ash with lime and chunks of volcanic rock, but the recipe was incomplete. The final, most crucial ingredient was also their greatest enemy, the sea itself. To pour this mixture directly into the ocean, it must have seemed like madness to any who witnessed it. They weren't just building structures. They were attempting to create man-made rock, in partnership with nature. This ambition was more than engineering. It was a profound statement of their place in the world. Generations of builders passed down this knowledge. Each new harbor was a refinement, a perfection of the art. The chronicler realizes the true scope of their gamble. To fail was to be forgotten. To succeed was immortality. The question was no longer just what they used, but how did these simple ingredients work such an impossible magic? The chronicler brings forth a magnifying lens, a tool to bridge the centuries. It is time to look closer. The surface reveals a complex matrix, not a solid mass, but a universe of interlocking crystals and minerals. The scroll turns to a new chapter, detailing the chemical secrets. The journey into the material itself begins now. Here, inside the concrete, the volcanic ash is the hero. Its unique properties are the key to everything. When mixed with lime, it forms a powerful mortar. A strong bond, but one that is surprisingly porous at first. This is where the seawater enters the story. It seeps into these tiny cracks, beginning a slow, deliberate transformation. In modern materials, this would be a disaster. Salt and chemicals would cause it to decay from within, but in Roman concrete, the opposite happens. A remarkable chemical reaction is triggered over many, many years. The chronicler points to the scroll's diagrams. The seawater dissolves parts of the ash, releasing mineral-rich elements. These elements then reformulate into entirely new crystalline structures. Structures that were not there in the beginning. One is a rare mineral called aluminous tobermorite. Its long, flat crystals interlock, reinforcing the entire structure. Another is philipsite, which grows in small, sturdy prisms. These crystals fill the remaining gaps and voids. This is the core of the secret. The concrete isn't just strong, it actively heals and improves itself over time. The longer it sits in seawater, the stronger and more resilient it becomes. An eternal, living stone. The chronicler looks up from his study, a profound understanding on his face. The Romans did not conquer nature. They invited it to be their partner in creation. A truly revolutionary concept, even by today's standards. He sees a new vision of the past, not of brute force, but of deep ecological wisdom and observation. They learned the language of their world's materials, and they used it to write an epic story in stone. This challenges our entire modern approach to building. We see decay as inevitable, something to fight against. The Romans saw the potential for growth and endurance. They built with time, not against it. A beautiful lesson. But this raises another question. Did they know the precise science, or was it a masterful, inherited craft? The texts are practical guides, not scientific papers. They speak of what to do, but not always why. It was likely a mix of careful observation and generations of trial and error. A secret perfected, not invented. Each structure became a living laboratory. Each harbor a 2,000-year-long experiment we can now study. The chronicler examines a core sample under a modern microscope. The same healing crystals appear, vibrant and strong. It is definitive proof. The ancient texts and modern science tell the exact same incredible story. Now the map of knowledge is almost complete. But one final mystery remains to be unraveled by the chronicler. If this technology was so powerful, so fundamental to their success, why in the world did it ever disappear? The fall of the Roman Empire was not a single event. It was a slow unraveling of complex systems. Trade routes that carried the special pozzolana ash from Italy were severed. The key ingredient became unavailable. The grand state-funded projects that required this concrete ceased. There was no longer a need for massive seawalls. Knowledge that isn't used is eventually forgotten. The craft passed from master to apprentice simply stopped. Centuries passed. New, lesser forms of concrete were developed, and the ancient recipe was relegated to myth. The secret wasn't locked in a vault. It was hiding in plain sight, in every harbor and aqueduct they left behind, waiting patiently for someone to ask the right questions again. For curiosity to finally catch up with history, the chronicler understands that some secrets are not lost. They are merely sleeping, waiting for a new dawn. This rediscovery is more than a historical curiosity. It holds profound implications for our own world today. We produce billions of tons of cement every year, a process that creates massive carbon dioxide emissions. The Roman recipe requires far less heat to produce. It presents a path to a greener, more durable future. Scientists are now recreating and refining this ancient formula. The sleeping secret is finally reawakening. Imagine coastal cities protected by seawalls that grow stronger with the rising tides. A beautiful circular logic. The final chapter of the scroll unrolls. The grand design is revealed, connecting all the threads. This concrete wasn't just for harbors. It was the foundation of the Roman world, seen and unseen. It allowed for the soaring dome of the Pantheon, still the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. It lined the aqueducts that carried fresh water to 1 million citizens, the lifeblood of the city. This single innovation enabled public health, commerce, and architectural beauty on an unprecedented scale. A true wonder. The social impact was immeasurable. It gave the Romans the confidence to build for eternity. Their world was solid, permanent, and divinely favored. And this material was the bedrock of that belief. Then, as we saw, the knowledge faded into the darkness. A reminder that even the greatest secrets can be lost, but its echo remained, whispering its story to anyone who would take the time to listen to the stones. The chronicler's journey is complete. The paradox is solved. The secret was never one ingredient, but a process. A dance between human ingenuity and the deep, slow magic of the natural world. Every stone carries a story. The past holds the keys to a better future. We only need the curiosity to look and the wisdom to understand. If this story sparked your curiosity, share the wonder and continue the journey with us. Subscribe for more.